welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back. So if you haven't yet subscribed, kindly do so. Today's lesson, we're going to be looking at 13 reasons why relationships fail. Today's lesson, we're going to be looking at 13 reasons why relationships fail. So I'm just going to be getting some few points from, I wrote them down from this little book of mine, and there's also this book. Yeah. So we're going to be looking at 13 reasons why relationships fail. So before we just dive in the reasons or discussing why relationships fail, blaming each other actually isn't necessary when things fail. Like trying to find faults in each other, in one another and everything, and trying to determine who was wrong and what that actually doesn't even help anybody. Like how much you blame each other either way, it's not going to change who you are and who you really are. So let me just read a certain quote from Wine Die, some names. So it says, no one who is in the right frame of mind ventures to start a relationship that he knows won't work. No one in his right mind will start a relationship knowing that it's going to fail. So if you start a relationship and you know that okay, ni so wela chaba, then you are fool. Yeah, because it says no one in the right mind would venture into a relationship knowing it won't work. So we all begin relationships with that special someone with a view of success. We all start a relationship with that special somebody with a view of success. We see ourselves a year or so later settling down in a long-lasting and loving relationship. However, the reality is almost 1 in every 10 premarital relationship is bound to break. Yeah, so that's the reality. So this is the basis of our lesson. So everyone ventures in the relationship, someone in their right mind with a view of it working, but that's not always the case. So these are some of the reasons why relationships. So the first one is immaturity. People go in relationships, maybe you're young, both of you are young and don't really know much or have knowledge of what it takes to maintain a relationship. That might lead to breaking up. This happens mostly actually when a lady, mostly as ladies, mature fast. You mature and then you just grow out of the relationship. You just mature and then you grow up and then you just discover that okay, it's not working, and then you move on and you break up. So immaturity is one of the reasons why relationships fail. Yeah, and sometimes you're just both too naive and just you continue quite right as boyfriend and girlfriend, but in the long run, over time, you're going to discover that okay, things are just not working and we just need to go separate ways because life just keeps giving you hints that okay guys, it's time to move on. So yeah, immaturity, one reason. Number two is infatuation. Infatuation is real. Yeah, so infatuation, you begin a relationship with someone. Okay, let's talk of love at first sight. you just meet someone once, maybe just sitting next to them, just like how warm it is, and just there you propose love to them like hey, you don't even have any knowledge of who this person is and who they are, what are their weaknesses, their strengths. You know nothing about it, and we tend to mistake that for love, and with over time that fades away and then you just realize okay, there's nothing here, and that leads to breaking up, that leads to a failed relationship. So infatuation is one of them. Third one is rebound relationships. These are the ones where you're from this serious relationship, you break up and then you just dive into another one, and usually that's just a shoulder to cry on. That relationship is just like a shoulder for you to cry on. Once you're done crying and everything, and you feel like moving on now because you're okay. Yeah, so these relationships are usually short term. They don't last long because the other person is unstable. Their emotions are unstable. They're all over the place. They're trying to get over the other person and then they rush into this new thing. You still have unsolved problems and then you just dive into the other thing. It just doesn't work like that. So mostly these ones are short-lived because the other person is still trying to get stabilized and low. So my advice is that when you are from a relationship, give yourself time, heal, get over the person fully, and then you can be ready for another relationship. That takes time. and the time it takes may differ depending on how long you are together and the bond you shared. Yeah, so it might take some time, but just be patient with yourself, give yourself some time, and then you'll heal, and then you can be ready for another relationship. But don't just jump into another relationship, because mostly those ones don't even work. Yeah, they're short-lived, they die easily. Yeah, so the other reason, the fourth one, is peer pressure. I don't know, it exists, right? I feel like it's just some excuse when someone says peer pressure, honestly. But I hear it does exist. People are peered into doing certain things. Yeah. Okay, so usually this one may be okay. Yeah, it is true. Some people are still have that kind of thing. Okay, it's like it's a thing being in relationships. Like when you're in a relationship, which sticker you have someone and all. So people admire that, and you'd be pressured into also getting in a relationship. Usually such relationships don't last, because in the first place you don't even know why you're in that relationship. Yeah, you don't know why you're there, you don't have any knowledge of what you're doing there, and usually that doesn't last. Yeah, so that leads to a failed relationship, because you don't even know what you're doing there. Like, why are you here? Yeah, so that leads to a failed relationship. And then, yeah, peer pressure. So we shouldn't be peered, guys. Like, just take your time, do it when you're ready. It's not about people, it's about you and what you want. Yeah. The fifth one is desperation. Okay, so this is really, it's real, guys. It's real. Yeah, so there's desperation. It's usually common among ladies when they cross maybe the lower limit, maybe 25. So especially when they cross the upper limit, now that one, the 31. Yeah, there's usually that pressure, and you become desperate. People become desperate. They just go for anything that comes their way. They're just desperate for a relationship. And this also happens in universities, especially when you're in your final year. There's that fear of maybe you won't blend in society or things like that, or maybe you're scared if you don't get a partner at school. Maybe it will be hard for you to find someone in society. Maybe you're going to find someone who's not working, or someone who's not at your level, so you're scared. So you get desperate and rush into this relationship. And usually such relationships that start on this desperation disease. Oh yes, it's a disease. Yeah, so such relationships that start on this desperation disease actually don't work. They just die out eventually, because sometimes you just rush for this person even when you know that's not clearly what you want. That's not clearly close to anything you wanted or someone you wanted. Yeah, that's so different from you. So like you just rush into it because you just want something, and usually those ones don't last as well. Desperation disease relationships don't last. Sixth one is evil motives or gaining points, moving points, something like that. Okay, this one is usually common with guys, where they, I don't know if people still do that, but I just find that childish. Like they dare each other. Okay, no, that girl, try to get her and see how it works. Oh no, not see how it works. Go for that girl, we'll see if you're going to get her. That girl, she's tough. Like, go have sex with her, see if we're going to have sex with her, something like that. Like they dare each other. Usually such relationship obviously don't last, because the other person, of course, the other person is just up for a day, and then the other one is all serious. And obviously the serious one, when they find out that they're actually just being used, then that's the end. Yeah, so these ones also don't last. The seventh one is undefined status. Like you haven't defined things, you're just there. This relationship is neither here or neither there. So my advice to you ladies out there is that if you're in such a relationship, define things. Stop being shy and everything. Know what you want. Know what you're doing in the relationship. Ask him, what are we doing exactly? Stop wasting time. Yeah, because in the long run, they're just going to say, we're not doing anything here. I thought we're just friends. And then it ends there. Like, what are you going to say? So put things straight. Don't just be flowing with the wind. Yeah, define things. The other one is abuse. Yeah, reasons why relationships fail because of abuse. Abuse takes many forms. Can be verbal, can be emotional, can be sexual. Yeah, usually such relationships don't last, and they actually shouldn't last, because it just leads to disastrous things. Yeah, Some even end up dying. So the other one is unfaithfulness. I think this one is the most common one why relationships fail. Unfaithfulness. The relationship is between two people, and then when you involve a third party, it just ruins things. Yeah, so be faithful to one partner. Have one partner, don't have multiple partners. Yeah, so unfaithfulness is one of the reasons why relationships fail. So let's be faithful if we have to maintain those relationships. The other one is lack of approval from significant others. Though we might think this one is really not considered, but it's true. In as much as we say a relationship again is between two people, like the other people that have a say about that relationship and they determine whether it will work or not. Yeah, for example, those are our parents, can be elders at church. Yeah, people that just matter, they have a say in the relationship and they can actually, so that they can determine whether it's going to work or fail. So lack of approval from such people that matter leads to a failed relationship. It's when your parents say no, then yeah, the relationship may end, yes. But with this point, you must be careful because you must also consult from the right people. That's the key point. The people who are having a say in the relationship should be the right people, and they should know what exactly they're saying. Yeah, because they're just people that don't make sense sometimes, and we can ignore those. But yeah, right people have a say in the relationship. Lack of consultation. Sometimes just okay, most of us, you go in the relationship and then start finding things about the person later on. It's supposed to be the other way around first. Like find out about the person and then go for them or not go for them. So lack of consultation leads to a failed relationship because you don't really know the person, and then you just go into this wrong thing and then it doesn't work out. Yeah. And then the other one is spiritual incompatibility. I think it's the last one, the 13th one. Spiritual incompatibility. This one is very serious, though we take it like a joke, but it's very serious. The consequences may not occur right now, or you might not see the effects right now, but trust me, later on you're going to see them, and this has led to a lot of failed relationships. Even in the Christian faith, there are different denominations and each have different doctrines, I think. So I would prefer and I would advise you to go for someone who you have the same belief or the same faith in. The question we should ask ourselves pertaining this is, can two walk together unless they agree? Which is, can two walk together unless they agree? You have to agree to work together. So I think find someone of the same denomination, someone you have the same doctrine beliefs with. Yeah, because these things actually lead to a lot of differences. Yeah. So there are a lot of doctrinal differences, like the one stated in here. There are differences in dress, in the manner of worship, the day of worship, among others. There are a lot of things. The difference in the day you worship, the way you dress, how you carry out your worships. So consider all those things. So be with someone of the same faith. Spiritual compatibility. You must be compatible spiritually. Yeah, this one is a very important one, though it's usually ignored, but trust me, people have suffered consequences of these. It should be taken very seriously. Yeah, so these are actually the 13 reasons why relationships fail, and yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope you learned so much. So if you haven't yet subscribed, kindly do so, and tell a friend to subscribe.